What's up, guys? Happy Saturday and hope everybody's doing well. We're going to dive into a bunch of recent crypto news. I also want to explain exactly what alt season is by definition of the last two cycles, because I still see a lot of confusion. People thinking if an altcoin goes up 50% or 300%, we're in alt season, and that's not the case. It's based off of Bitcoin dominance crashing while Bitcoin is creating higher highs. And as I've shared all year on YouTube, we are not in alt season. It doesn't matter if an asset goes up 300% or 500%. We are not in alt season until we start seeing this large, sizable crash similar to the previous two cycles or the previous two alt seasons. And I've shared this before. This is the 2017 alt season when Bitcoin dominance crashes right here, and we have XRP during the last two alt seasons, the exact dates. And XRP is a really clean example of this, but you might find some other assets that are leaders or even laggards. So let me explain this tweet I put out on Twitter this morning. So for anybody watching my videos this year, you already know this, but let's just re-explain it for anybody new. So this is the Bitcoin dominance price chart. When Bitcoin dominance has historically crashed, large crashes to cycle lows, while Bitcoin is creating higher highs, that equals alt season. And alt season historically is the time when the highest number of alts or the highest majority of altcoins have the highest ROI. So the last two crashes on the monthly time frame of Bitcoin dominance was during the last two alt seasons. We haven't seen that first sizable crash. We haven't crashed back to lows or even close, so we haven't had alt season. And not financial advice, but I'm personally waiting for another alt season because I experienced the last two and we have a similar setup. So in this post, all I wanted to highlight was the start of the last two alt seasons, looking at the monthly time frame. So every single candle is a 1 month period. We can see this full monthly candle body closed, an 8% drop, kicking off the next alt season. So the first sizable drop. We had our last alt season at the end of December 2020 into January, and we had our first sizable drop. So a monthly candle dropping 15%. So that's a big reason why I want to see that first sizable drop on the monthly time frame. Today, we haven't seen anything. I mean, we're down maybe 4% from the high. So it's not like we had this monthly candle close because this is still closing in a little over 7 days. So I've said this a lot. I don't know where Bitcoin dominance is going to top at. Is it possible that it continues higher? Yes, but it's also possible that we could be really close or already at our top if we start to see the monthly RSI clearly reject 70 like it is now, in that first large initial drop on the monthly time frame similar to the previous cycles. So if Bitcoin dominance begins crashing and it breaks through 54%, you're going to see me become a really big moon boy. I also want to make this clear, whatever assets are pumping or dumping, it doesn't matter, it's still not alt season. So with XRP, I'm going to drag the cursor across just to show you the price action for XRP. So we can see March 2020, we're at like 11 or 12 cents as a low. XRP drew waves. I mean, it went up all the way up to like 77, 78 cents. So this was even before alt season. XRP went up 500%, and then the lawsuit came, and we can see that we crashed over 70%, almost 80%. This was all before alt season. So following my cursor on Bitcoin dominance, you can see the dashed line for XRP when I'm going across it during the exact same date. So we can just see XRP, it was pumping, it was dumping, it was drawing waves before alt season even started. When did alt season by definition begin? When Bitcoin dominance was crashing as Bitcoin was creating higher highs. And when was that? Let me go to the weekly so we can actually see this a little better. So we can see the top of Bitcoin dominance before crashing was during the week of December 28th, 2020. Where was XRP's bottom after the SEC news? Exactly during that week, around 17 cents during the week of December 28th. So we can turn the lights on and we see during this exact time frame, the exact dates, that was exactly when XRP saw a 10x return. So the point I want to make is I consider alt season when Bitcoin dominance crashes as Bitcoin is creating higher highs, and XRP can do whatever it wants in the meantime. It can draw waves, it can go up 200%, it can crash 50%, it can go to an all-time high in theory, but I'm waiting for the actual alt season. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, and here's another quick example of last cycle. So the top of Bitcoin dominance, it began its crash. What did HBAR do? That was literally alt season, so as we can see. Go to the week of December 28th, kicking off alt season, and I mean pretty darn close in that box all the way until May. Same thing. So alt season, HBAR. We could do the same thing for the DAG price chart. There's different assets that were leaders and laggards, and let's look at DAG's performance basically during December 28th of 2020, so right here, all the way up until the top. Let me just mark this clearly so we can see. So December 28th, I already have marked, and then we're going to go to the week of May 10th. So that was the alt season for DAG by definition, and we can see that Bitcoin created a higher high, and DAG went even higher after that. So going from these wicks to the top of DAG right there, that was over a 1,600% move, and then after that big crash, we went up again, and we did almost another 1,600%. And I just want to emphasize that during alt season, historically, that is when the highest number of individual projects have the highest ROI. It doesn't mean that they have to have their highest ROI then. Some assets lag, some assets go before. But the highest number of altcoins take off during alt season, so whether you believe that some assets are going to go to all-time highs before alt season, it's possible. Maybe some actually even lag behind alt season. I just wanted to point out this by definition is alt season. And the last thing I want to explain is this. So looking at my cursor over here, when Bitcoin dominance is crashing, looking at the past alt seasons, what Bitcoin is doing during this time. So as my cursor is moving, we can see Bitcoin is creating higher highs. It is going up as Bitcoin dominance crashes. So that's alt season. And here we'll go to last alt season. So right here we have the top right there. Where is Bitcoin during this time? I'll zoom in a bit. So we have alt season beginning right here. What is happening as Bitcoin dominance is crashing? Bitcoin is creating higher highs. And as Bitcoin was getting closer to its top, Bitcoin dominance was already far lower. So based off the last two cycles during alt season, when Bitcoin dominance is crashing, we ideally want to see the Bitcoin price chart creating higher highs at this time in an uptrend. So anyways, guys, these are just some things that I consider and I find interesting looking at historical data and sharing the reasons why I believe what I believe, and it doesn't mean it's going to be accurate. Absolutely anything can happen. But in the meantime, we have Bitcoin at 98,000, so I would love to see this monthly candle close in over 7 days in the green over the previous highs. That would be a breath of fresh air for me, basically confirming another cycle and the hopes of Bitcoin running for another 200 to 300 days, just like the past 3. So I definitely want to see that. I know there are different concerns with the CME gap around like 80,000. Anything's possible. But last cycle, for example, we know that we have this gap open and Bitcoin just kept running. And this is during Bitcoin's first major move. It had a gap open and then it went to a cycle top and closed it during the next bear market. So we'll have to see what happens over the next 7 days. I want everything to go up, so don't listen to me. If we close well above these highs, I'm bullish. I just believe another cycle is here. I believe Bitcoin dominance crashes. I believe that a lot of alts recover. The only way I can even entertain being bearish is looking at the CME gap and trying to imagine any type of bearish divergence if the monthly RSI doesn't break through this level. We'll say right around maybe 77. And going down to the weekly, we can see the same thing. So the highest the weekly RSI has gotten to is almost 88. So I would love to see the weekly RSI blast through that level and not serve as any type of resistance or any concerns of bearish divergence where we have the higher highs. And then if it didn't break through, that would be a lower high. So the monthly close for Bitcoin, the total crypto market cap, XRP, any assets with their monthly RSI over 70 is really important. Going down to Bitcoin on the weekly, just looking at last cycle, we can see that we drew basically over 100% before doing any type of pullback. And then after that pullback, it was about like 30%. Looking at today, I know the market cap is much bigger, but we can see that we have also pumped, basically over 40%. And then going back to the 2017 bull run, I know Bitcoin was a lot smaller at this time in terms of market cap, but its first major move was also over 100% before doing another pullback. We can see roughly maybe like 30%, almost 40%. Then after a couple weeks, it pumped again, and then we can see another couple weeks of dumping and pulling back 40% before going higher. All right, so basically looking at the XRP monthly, if we want an all-time price for XRP, we want to see this monthly RSI stay above the purple over 70. Same thing for XLM. This momentum is really moving, so we can see this is basically at 80. So we are actually getting pretty close to our all-time high price. We want to see the total crypto market cap also stay up to keep that momentum strong. We can see Solana is right there around 70 battling the make or break level. And look at total 3. We are also at the make or break level. So this is the entire crypto asset class as the chart says, but excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So this includes every other crypto asset, also stable coins, and I know that some more Tether was printed, so that's probably helping. But yeah, for the moon boy potential in another bull run, another cycle where Bitcoin drives significantly higher, we want to see this fly. And just remember that both Total 3 and Ethereum at the exact same time rejected 70 before. So not financial advice, but I'm hoping that the second time is the charm and this resistance is getting weaker and we can break through. Alright, a few other things. I want to talk about some different crypto assets. Again, I'm not telling anybody to buy these. These are not recommendations. This is just looking at the momentum on the monthly time frame. So when I use EMAs or these exponential moving averages, you're going to see that I use the same numbers as the Fibonacci sequence. So the 8, the 21, the 34. And you'll notice that these are also in my Fibonacci retracement tool when I'm looking at fib extensions. What I really like doing, and I just want to emphasize, this takes no skill, but I really like watching the momentum during a bullish cycle, so looking at different assets when they cross the 50 line or the middle line, especially if they can cross over 70. So for this month, a bunch of different assets are waking up. We can see DOT drawing over 150%, coming right up to the 34 EMA, getting a strong cross over the 50 line or the middle line. We also saw DAG doing something similar right up to the 34 EMA, but it's yet to cross technically a strong cross past the 50 line, so this can in theory also be resistance. We also have Rose. There's just been several assets that have come up to the 34 EMA. I believe HBAR as well, so it blasted right past that, an example of the momentum being really, really strong. And we already know XRP blasted right through, and then XLM is really, really high. And for Stellar, we can see previously resistance, resistance, consolidating, and then finally blasting through. So basically for this cycle, whatever crypto assets you hold or believe in, the biggest moves are when we are over the purple, over 70 on the monthly time frame. And we have some assets today on the monthly that are well below the 50 line. API3 is an example of one battling the 50 line today. We can see Curve the same thing, well below the 50 line, but the momentum is turning up. We also have SWE as an example, so getting over 50 is getting that momentum stronger, over 70 is oh boy. And we have other assets like Velo, the monthly RSI almost starting to curl up but really running sideways, and then Casper's monthly RSI still low but did curl up recently. We also have Algo right here, so in the past this actually served as resistance, the 34 EMA, and today we've come right back up to it. We are actually crossing it a little bit, and we're just above the 50 line. I have TradingView linked right in the video description right there. And you can just use the free version. You can add RSI and look at the momentum on the monthly, the weekly, the daily, whatever you want. And you don't have to use my link. You can create a free TradingView account at tradingview.com. But if you do use my link and you ever plan, I believe, to get a paid plan in the future, we both get 15 bucks. So right there, each receiving 15 bucks towards the purchase of any subscription. I also want Ethereum's monthly RSI or momentum to get moving in the future because obviously breaking over 70 likely means a new all-time price, and ETH going up brings a bunch of tokens up. I mean, we already have XRP, Solana, Bitcoin at or above 70 today. So not financial advice, but I also want to see Ethereum create another all-time price this cycle just like the past. Alright guys, we'll call it a day because this video is probably going to be pretty long when I trim some of these clips together, but I will dive into news in the next video. My bad, I just wanted to go over this, talk about the basics of the monthly time frame, the weekly, looking at momentum, and the definition of alt season, even if some assets actually do better before or after alt season. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We are rooting for Bitcoin to get a positive monthly close in just over 7 days. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.